I think it's time someone told the truth. Maya's voice was clear, young, but startlingly calm for a 13-year-old. Her words cut through the tension in the courtroom like a blade, leaving her adoptive father, Thomas Fields, frozen, pen in hand, just inches from finalizing the divorce papers. Alisa Fields, sitting beside her daughter, turned slowly. Her eyes met Maya's with a blend of surprise and pride. This wasn't part of the plan. Maya was supposed to be at home, away from the chaos. But then again, Maya had always been more than just a child. They had raised a force of nature. Maya Fields, adopted at just 4 months old, had grown into a sharp, bright-eyed teenager with a passion for puzzles and a stubborn sense of justice. Alisa and Thomas, a powerful couple, once deeply in love, had built their lives around her after years of struggling with infertility. For a while, they were happy. Then Thomas forgot how they got there. He used to be a broken man. After the 2008 crash, Thomas lost nearly everything: his family's name, wealth, and pride. When Alisa met him, he was living out of a rented studio in Bushwick, scraping by with freelance consulting jobs. She believed in him when no one else did. With her marketing background and quiet brilliance, she helped him build back. Together, they crafted the blueprint for what would become Educa, now a multi-million-dollar tech startup revolutionizing online learning. But before the first investor check cleared, Thomas had insisted on a prenuptial agreement. Just for security, he said. Alisa, trusting and in love, agreed. She signed the papers without reading them too carefully, still glowing from the proposal. It felt like a formality. Years passed. The company thrived and so did their reputation. Behind closed doors, however, things began to shift. Thomas grew distant. Alisa became a ghost in the house she had designed. The final blow came when she discovered his affair with his assistant, a 26-year-old blonde with impeccable heels and a penchant for flattery. Thomas had filed for divorce 3 months later, smug and confident. The prenup, he thought, guaranteed he'd walk away clean with the company, the house, everything. Alisa would be left with nothing more than her maiden name, and perhaps a polite article in the society pages, but he hadn't counted on Maya. Late one night, Maya had overheard her mother crying. Not loudly, Alisa never broke that way, but quietly, the kind of heartbreak that slips through the cracks of dignity. That's when Maya knew. She started researching. She snuck into Thomas's home office, combed through old folders and USB drives, and what she found changed everything. Now, in a courtroom thick with silence, Maya stepped forward. "Your Honor," she said, standing in front of the judge, a stout woman with kind but curious eyes. "Before you finalize anything, I'd like to submit some evidence." "Maya," Alisa whispered, reaching for her. But Maya gently pulled away, her voice unwavering. "This," she said, lifting a sealed envelope, "is a certified statement from the Brooklyn Registrar's office. According to their records, the prenuptial agreement between Thomas and Alisa Fields was never officially filed. It lacks notarization and legal witness signatures. It was never valid." Gasps rippled through the room. Even Thomas's lawyer glanced sideways, suddenly less confident. Thomas opened his mouth to speak, but Maya wasn't done. And she added, her tone sharper now, "I also have proof that Mr. Fields has been in a relationship with his assistant for over 8 months. Text messages, receipts, emails, all while married to my mom." Thomas stood up. "Now, this is outrageous. You're a child." "She's my daughter," Alisa said quietly, standing too, "and she's telling the truth." The judge raised a hand. "That's enough. Both parties will remain seated while I review these materials." Thomas hesitated, jaw tight, before dropping back into his chair. For the first time in months, his confidence cracked. Maya walked back to her seat, slipping her hand into her mother's. Alisa squeezed it gently, her lips trembling with emotion. Outside, it began to rain, a soft, steady drizzle, tapping against the courtroom windows. No one spoke. Even the bailiff seemed unsure whether to breathe too loudly. Thomas, once the untouchable entrepreneur, now looked like a man caught in his own net. And Maya just sat there, eyes forward, heart pounding, knowing the fight wasn't over, but the battle had finally begun. The rain was still falling when Alisa and Maya stepped out of the courthouse lobby. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Alisa's heels clicked softly against the marble floor. Maya's sneakers squeaked slightly. Two rhythms moving in uncertain harmony. Outside, the black town car waited. The driver holding an umbrella. Alisa hesitated. "You shouldn't have done that," she said quietly, not looking at her daughter. Maya looked up. "I know," she answered, equally quiet. "But someone had to." Alisa closed her eyes for a second, breathing in the faint scent of courtroom paper and rain. She wasn't angry. Not really, just overwhelmed. She had spent months preparing herself to walk away from her marriage quietly, dignity intact. She'd even rehearsed her statements in front of the mirror, promising herself that she would not cry, not beg, not break. And yet here she was, undone, not by Thomas, but by her daughter's courage. Inside the car, as they pulled away, Maya fidgeted with the zipper of her backpack. "Are you mad?" Alisa looked at her, really looked. Maya's expression was worried but resolute. Her dark eyes, always more expressive than she realized, shimmered in the dim light. She wasn't just a child anymore. Somehow, somewhere between the hurt and the silence, she'd become something far more. "No," Alisa finally said, resting her hand gently over Maya's. "I'm proud." Maya smiled, small and quick. Then her voice dropped. "Do you think the judge will believe us?" Alisa sighed. "I don't know, but what you gave her, it wasn't just paper. It was truth." They drove home to the brownstone in Crown Heights that Alisa had bought with her first major salary bonus before Thomas. She had kept it all these years, even after moving to the larger mansion in Park Slope. It was modest, but it was hers. Maya loved it, too. The creaky stairs, the lavender plant on the windowsill, the framed photo of young Alisa graduating from NYU in her cap and gown. It was a house filled with beginnings, not endings. That evening, Maya sat at the kitchen table while Alisa reheated leftover lasagna. There was no appetite, but they ate anyway, forks moving more out of habit than hunger. "I remember the first time I saw him," Alisa said suddenly, not looking up. Maya stopped mid-bite. "It was at a tech workshop in Williamsburg. I was presenting on marketing automation and he was sitting in the back row, completely out of place in a wrinkled polo shirt and scuffed shoes, but his eyes lit up when I spoke. Afterward, he waited outside the building and asked if I'd be willing to mentor him." Maya listened, silent. "I said no," Alisa added with a faint smile, "twice, but he was persistent. Not in a creepy way, just hopeful, hungry." And then Alisa leaned back, her fork idle. "Then he started showing up at my office with questions, ideas, scraps of code. One night I stayed late to help him refine a pitch for his app idea. And that turned into 2 nights, a week, a month." Maya traced circles into the wood of the table. "Was it worth it?" Alisa didn't answer right away. "I thought it was. We built something real. Or at least I thought it was real. The business, the life, the family. And then little by little, he stopped seeing me as a partner." Maya tilted her head. "When did you know?" "Last Christmas," Alisa said, "he bought me a bracelet with our daughter's birthstone, but he never once said thank you for raising her. Never acknowledged the quiet, the sacrifices, and then I found the messages." Maya's jaw clenched. "He doesn't get to erase you, Mom. Not after everything." Alisa reached across the table, cupping Maya's chin gently. "He won't, because I have you." Later that night, after Maya had gone to bed, Alisa sat alone in her bedroom with the door slightly ajar. The rain had stopped, but the soft patter of dripping water from the eaves was comforting. She opened the folder Maya had given the court. Inside were the damning truths, missing legal stamps, falsified notarization, the email threads with the assistant, and behind them something else. A drawing, crayon on white paper, slightly smudged. A picture of Alisa standing tall in front of a courthouse. Maya by her side holding up a gavel like a trophy. At the top in Maya's familiar handwriting were the words, "My mom is stronger than lies." Alisa held the drawing to her chest. She let herself cry, not from pain this time, but release. The next morning, the phone rang just after